Archie Birds, here it is, the latest, the greatest. The Messenger here, and this is running on our arpeggiator, I think. I just put some 10 fingers down and made a chord, and I got this thing modded over about in the middle. I got the glide up. I've diddled with all these knobs to try and get this in tune, but this is, I think it's one of these sample and hold patterns. I haven't investigated much about this. The arpeggiator and all this, the manual is skint. I'm trying the gate out, and the CV out is going to this magnificent, what is it, 258T. And the thing that's kind of making this pony go to the extent that it is that this green line here is, you can see the LFO. This is being used at a very low rate here, and it's sweeping this, which is the waveform for this lower oscillator. And I think this one is, yeah, this is the square and sine. And the sine is so much quieter that it almost acts like a VCA. It's turning the volume down, so it's kind of making it swish and swell. And I just dialed this in by ear, sort of. But anyway, so this pitch out, this kind of melody of sorts, which is drastically out of tune. Nothing I could do to bring it in tune, really. So I just kind of matched it up as best I could over here. And I tried some kind of quantizing thing that made it worse. But anyway, and I've got this thing for the first time. I think it's a 242T. This is kind of a pulse out thing. It's really cool. This is the first time I've been able to actually start one of these things. A sequencer, not on the first one. You can blank out, like, step number 1, step number 2. You can start it out like this one skipped a bunch of steps, and you can do that over here. You can just twitch this knob and that'll skip that step, but this lets it not sound on the first one. So you can have them different lengths and start at different times. It's pretty cool, but you don't get a pitched note kind of thing. You can just send something, you can trigger an event elsewhere in the system. So anyway, and I'm using this, let's see, this other thing, the low pass gate, to turn stuff off and on. And what else? Yeah, the clock out of here. So this clock out is actually going, oh dear. That's going into this. That's going into the 242, the clock out from here. And I've got a CV and a gate going into this mess somewhere. Now, these things are just... Yeah, this is turning off and on one of these. I got so many wires here. I've been at this for hours. Anyway, this clock is running this thing. Is it? Yeah, this clock is taking a cue from this pulse thing, and it's inputting here. And even though this figure is crazy, it is still making this skip in time, which is cool. So now that's running a hi-hat, this thing here, and you can adjust these different voltage levels and get kind of an accent on your ping over here, which is, this tends up to be kind of a little kind of ding-ding noise. It's kind of like a clav almost. It makes a clav noise. So that's coming in. It's dialed down pretty low. And this is doing most of the left-right stuff, although I'm using this Shakamat dual dagger thing, and I've used this oscillator over here, positive and minus on the sine wave, to run the panning. So this should be able to, and that gave this thing, which is mono, of course, a stereo effect of sorts. And also this panning here in the mixer, and we're not using the Hive this time, we're just using this, is, Yeah, that's coming out of the function gen here is running the panning. You can see it's a little faster on this side and a little slower on the other side. And now all this mess is going into the compressor, which I just finished a new box for that. Here's the side of it. See, that's a mosaic that somebody made on the side of a building. I took a picture of that in a foreign land. And so there's that. And I tried this thing earlier in the day, and it was pretty cool, but it was kind of too much of a gimmicky type of thing. And this, I can never make heads or tails of that thing. It sounded cool, but just not right now. So there, I think that's about it. It's very tempting to bring the smear into play here, but I'm going to see how this sounds in the, because you can put in the software, once it's in Logic, you can put all that delay and reverb and everything on it. And there is delay and reverb elsewhere laying around here. I just haven't got it together yet. So anyway, this is evolving as a system by the week. I've been buying one thing a week kind of thing. The triplet is new, and I'm using that for the first time to bring this 10-volt stuff out of here, which is roughly double what everything else in the whole rack is. So you usually have to attenuate that. And I just tried that over here, and it's worked just like it says, So, and these have been my standby LFOs for a while because it's got positive and negative out here, which is pretty handy. And let's think about this. I think that's all we need to know so far. This has been a trip. Everything the guy said in the Sound on Sound article when it first came out, which has been, 6 months ago, November, I think? Not 6 months, but, a while back. It was spot on. It's like I'd written the article myself. Like, see, there's a little place where obviously this little screen would go. Then that would make a lot more sense. Because when you adjust one of the parameters here, it shows you on the screen. See, it shows you when you change this, it tells you what you had in memory, and then you can change it here. So it tells you where you were, whereas here, you're lost. As soon as you touch one of these, you'll never get it back. There's no undo button if you assign a modulation to something and it doesn't work out kind of thing. So I don't know what to do about that. Now, I haven't plugged the software in yet. That may shed some light on all this, but basically, I gotta say it sounds cool and it's fun. And I made this, just fooling around. I don't know, it's got a pretty good groove. I got the compressors going here. I've been using this for a compressor, which is, to me, more of a bus thing. And this, I can kind of pump it up any want. These are actually guitar pedals, but they have some real expensive California-made op amps in them, even though it says they're made in Denmark, and I'm sure they are, but they buy their stuff from California, weirdly enough. So that's kind of it for this little deal. I think it sounds pretty slinky. So that's it, up to date.